Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline, and I kind of wanted to do a sit down video to kind of explain to you guys a little bit about what's happening in my recovery and how I'm doing kind of with my body, with healing, with swelling, and all the different issues that I've been having. So if you're not familiar to kind of a little bit about my journey, I have lost over 300 pounds. I'm in the process of having excess skin removal surgery to remove a lot of the excess skin I have from losing so much weight, and I'm kind of dealing with a few issues with my body in terms of like fluid retention, swelling, having bigger legs, and a bunch of different things happening within my body that aren't necessarily due to surgery or skin removal surgeries, but they're kind of connected. So I did want to kind of explain where I am right now, what's happening right now, especially since I went to go see a vascular specialist who deals with the lymphatics and lymphedema, and a bunch of different issues with that in the body. That's like his specialty. So I finally had an appointment with him and I went to go see him, and so I kind of wanted to share everything and catch you up to speed as to how I'm doing right now. So I went and saw this doctor. He kind of asked me what's going on. And so I kind of told him I'm having issues with my legs, I'm having issues with my arms. And as hard as it was for me to kind of admit, I did tell him I have gained some weight. It's not, we're talking massive amounts of weight, but I have gained some weight. And so he kind of took a look at it, took a look at everything, and I'm sharing his opinion or what he thinks is happening and what I'm doing now to move forward with this. So the first thing he did tell me was he definitely thinks that weight gain has played a big part in what's going on in terms of my legs and my arms. He doesn't think that that's the only issue, and he doesn't think that that's like the big root of the problem, but he definitely said that weight gain is adding to it, where because I have gained some weight in my arms because I had surgery and it was cut here. When it's expanding, your skin expands when you gain some weight. It had nowhere else to go, so it's expanding in like this area, and so that's why that area is kind of puffing up. The lower part of my arm, where I didn't know if it was fluid or what was happening, he thinks that that's just fatty tissue or from weight gain, and that if I lose weight, that will go away naturally, like this lower part of my arm. But the band that I talked about, like why it's such a tight band, there was two things that he kind of thought was happening. One was, like I said, weight gain, where it has nowhere else to expand, so it's kind of expanding, and it's so tight, like it's a rubber band that is so tight and you're trying to expand it and it can't expand. But number two is that he thinks, as well as my massage therapist thinks, that it's the fascia in my arm that has built up over these years and years. My massage therapist even thinks it's years before I even had surgery, but we'll just go with like since surgery, which was almost 2 years ago, the fascia has just built up and the scar tissue has kind of built up, and it's running down this part of my arm and down my arm, and it's so tight that things can't move and flow properly. So there's a lot of different functional issues that are happening that weight gain is only adding to. So with those things combined, that's what they're thinking is happening with my arms. I'm having massages done where he's trying to break up that fascia. I'm bruised all over from him really trying to go deep to break it up. In my massage therapist's opinion, from what he can feel, and he's very specialized in this, it is very hard and it's very deep. And so it runs pretty much like where that band, like at the top of my arm, all the way down, like there's a big kind of channel or line, whatever it's called. And that whole area of my arm is tight and has a lot of fascia. So he's trying to break that all up. Ever since he's been doing it, I kind of have a better range of motion, and I feel like it's depuffing, which is really weird. So that is helping. On top of, it's been like 11 weeks where I've been like really strict on like my macro counting and my eating plan and my working out. And so I think a combined of those like two things, I'm really starting to see my arms kind of get better. So to hear this specialist say that that's exactly what he thinks is happening as well was a huge relief for me. There's nothing medically wrong in his opinion that's happening in terms of like my arms or what's going on. So in his opinion, it's not a fluid retention issue or a swelling issue that's happening in the arms. So he really just thinks if I dial in, lose some weight, and loosen up that fascia, that my arms are going to heal on their own. If I want to wear compression on my arms, he thinks it's only going to help. But if it's uncomfortable or if I don't want to, he said don't. I'll keep getting the massages. I'll keep trying to get like my eating, my weight under control a little bit better and see if that helps. And he's going to keep kind of checking in and seeing if that's the issue or what's happening. And if that doesn't resolve the issue, then we'll try to like figure out a plan B. But right now, that's kind of where we're at in terms of what's happening with my arms. I do have special ointment now to put on my arm to kind of help like that wound a little bit. Just because it keeps rubbing together just on this arm, which is really weird. And then it'll go away, and then it'll come back, and then it'll go away. So until we can really depuff this area, which is through massages to loosen everything up and with weight loss, we're just going to have to keep an eye on that area as well. But I am going to try, hopefully, whenever my new arm compressions come in, I am going to try wearing them as well to see if they'll help. And that's what he also recommended. Try it and see if it helps, since I will have it. So moving on to my legs, I feel like the legs are a very hard situation or thing because for me, I want there to be like a clear cut, like this is what's happening, let's do this, and they'll become smaller. Even if it's just, okay, lose weight, they'll become smaller. And I feel like right now there's not a real clear cut, like this is what we have to do or this is what's going to happen. Just because of how big and like firm my calves are. I've always had kind of bigger calf muscles and they've been really like strong. And I know all through kind of growing up, I got made fun of for having bigger legs. And I was asked if I played shot put and cross country and all these different things because if they were like big and firm. So it might just be something I have and deal with. But the doctor also thinks it's a lot of hard, fatty tissue that's like stuck in there from being overweight, from losing weight, from gaining some weight that just can't like break up. But his opinion was he wants me to go see another specialist who kind of specializes more in cosmetic surgery of the lymphatics, who deal with like lymphedema, and kind of deal with more patients who have different issues like this with their legs or their body, to see what her opinion is and to see if there might be a special type of liposuction to help break up that fatty tissue, or something that she would recommend that we can do to kind of help the legs and their size and their appearance a little bit more. So the calf or the thighs look great. I had skin removal on my thighs. They look amazing. They're really not holding on to fluid retention, fluid, swelling, having any sort of issues. I do have a lot of loose skin on like the hips and the outer part of my legs that, again, I will address eventually. But I really kind of want to address everything else that's happening in my body first before I go and have another surgery. So I'm hopefully going to go see her soon. I know he's hoping within the next 3 weeks I'm able to go see her. So I'll keep you posted again on that to see kind of what she says. But the next thing he did kind of address was about lymphedema and lipodema. And I think this has to be one of the questions I get asked the most, is if I have lymphedema, lipodema, things, especially in my legs. So it's kind of a complicated answer, I guess, and he is a specialist in this, and I've asked like 500 other doctors already too. They've all said no. I figured I would ask him just to be clear if what's going on and what's happening. So he in his opinion, said I do not have it. I do not have lymphedema. You know, they get very confusing. Lymphedema and lipodema. He said in his opinion, I do not have lymphedema at all. And in his opinion, I do not have lipodema. He said there is a spectrum where it's not just yes you do or no you don't, that you could fall on this big range of a spectrum of lipodema, and that no, I do not have it because I don't have all of the characteristics or symptoms of having it. He even pushed down on my skin and held it for like 2 minutes to check for pitting, because I guess that's one of the number one signs you can tell if you have it. And he pushed down on it, and when he let go, my skin went right back to normal. So he's like, that's a clear sign that no, you don't have it. The only reason he would say I'm on like the spectrum is because I do have like the larger legs that are holding on to some of that hard fat. So he said, is that really lymphedema or is that something else going on? He wasn't sure, but that's really the only symptom I have of it. So that's why he said there's kind of like that spectrum. Also, there's no pain involved with it. There's none of the other classic things that people deal with happening. So that's why he wants me to go see this other specialist to kind of see what's going on. And is it just if I really dial in and lose weight, like even if I have to lose a massive amount of weight still, if that would handle the situation and deal with it on its own, or is there something else going on that we need to address? So he didn't really have a clear answer as in like terms of like what's happening with the legs, but his suggestion still was to maybe try to lose some weight. So it was a lot of information to take in. He was a super nice doctor. He was very helpful, very supportive, didn't make me feel bad at all for my body, for the weight gain, and made me feel really comfortable to talk to him, and it felt like he actually cared and wanted to help. And that made a huge difference for me, for the appointment, for how this overall situation has been going. It has been very difficult for me to admit I have gained some weight, to talk about that I have gained some weight, to address and let you guys know, let people in my life know, let doctors know, let my trainers and surgeon, and family members, know that I am dealing with body issue images again, and my own body image issues and weight gain, and loving myself again because of the weight gain, and just not feeling comfortable in my skin has been very, very hard for me. But I know if I want what's best for myself and my body and to continue to keep moving forward, I have to address it. I have to deal with it. And I always say I have to face it and embrace it so I can move on. So hearing him kind of say that weight gain is kind of adding to a lot of the issues I'm having was really hard to heal, was very hard to hear, especially because I've been having such a hard time with it. I think you kind of are hoping that there's something else, and it's not something like you did, or because I gained weight, now like some of these issues are happening. But at the same time, I'm very kind of relieved that that is the problem, because there's nothing medically wrong with me or my body that's causing these issues. And if it's just I have to lose weight again, then that's something that's easy for me that I can do, and I know I can do it. So it was kind of a relief knowing there's no medical issues or anything medically wrong with my lymphatics, my system, my fluid retention, that there's nothing wrong with that, like at this moment, in his opinion. And so that's kind of a relief as well. But at the same time, mentally kind of having to deal with, knowing or understanding or admitting that a lot of these issues that are happening are because of some weight gain is very, very difficult. And so I kind of left that appointment emotional, to say the least, because it's just a struggle. It's a struggle when you've lost so much weight. I told myself I'm never going to gain the weight again. I'm going to be different than all the statistics. I'm never going to deal with it, whatever. And then you find yourself in this place where now you've not only gained weight, but now it's affecting kind of a lot of other things. It's really hard. So I'm dealing with that, and really trying to be kind and patient and loving with myself during this phase so I can continue to keep loving myself and doing what it needs to heal and to move forward. So the gist of it is kind of the diagnosis is that a lot of the issues I'm having are because of some weight gain, as well as some tightness in the arms, the muscles, the fascia, scar tissue, and then some hard, fatty fat that's stuck in my legs that we're trying to resolve and figure out how to fix that. So that's kind of the gist of it. I'm going to see another specialist hopefully soon and kind of hopefully get more answers in that. But right now, just focus on loving myself, taking care of myself, and, having this weight kind of naturally come off and being okay with it. So I did want to address this, want to talk about it, and fill you guys in. No, I'm not talking about a goal weight, a goal number, exactly how much weight I gained, how much I'm trying to lose, because I'm really trying to get away from that whole number system and defining myself as a number, whether it be trying to go down or what I went up to or any of that. And honestly, right now, I'm not even weighing myself. So I am asking for your understanding that I'm not sharing kind of that information, just because right now in my recovery, I have to get away from the scale, the numbers, the weight, and try to just recover as a whole as well. So I am tracking my food, tracking my macros, and I'm having Kevin weigh me every once in a while just to make sure I'm on track with like the right macros and things don't have to change up. But other than that, I'm not even dealing with anything else. So I appreciate your understanding on that I'm not kind of sharing that information. But I hope this video answered some of your questions. I know you guys were asking a lot about all this information. I finally have some answers after seeing that doctor, and I'll continue to share with you as I know more. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for all of your love and support. It really means a lot to me. If you have any other questions, please leave them down below. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye!